What's up, boys? I'm taking a look at a quick couple player props today over on Prize Picks. Prize Picks, my favorite website for some NBA and NFL player props. So yeah, usually I'm a bigger NBA guy for player props. I'm a big NFL guy, but when it comes to player props, I think NBA is much easier than the NFL. So take this with a grain of salt and always do your own research before we do go ahead and hop into this. But if anyone is new, if you guys like the video, subscribe to the channel and turn post notifications. I'll definitely have some Super Bowl stuff up for you guys for player props then. But yeah, always we're gonna keep doing the NBA on the daily. So yeah, make sure you guys like the video and subscribe, and use code DOMG on PrizePicks if you guys have not already on PrizePicks. It's available in most states, so I definitely recommend joining. So yeah, use code DOMG. Matches your first deposit 100% up to $100. So let's go ahead and hop in and talk about some of these player props today because we don't have that much time. I'm kind of recording this late. I didn't pre-record this time, unfortunately. So let's go ahead and talk about some of these player props here. So we'll go ahead and hop straight into this here. So let's go ahead. We have two Rams receiving props right off the bat, actually. So go ahead and go with probably the more popular one is probably Cooper Kupp. To grab 101 at least receiving yards. He's been able to get it done twice against San Francisco this season. So 113.2 he's averaging in his last 5 games. He went off against Tampa in their last playoff game. So yeah, I was able to get it done against San Francisco last time, 118 yards. And they're at home this time. So that's always a good look. But yeah, last time they were at home, he had 118 yards. Even when they were away last time they played, 122 yards. So looking like a pretty good spot for Cooper Kupp to go ahead and grab this over if you take a look at the past. So it's not a bad spot here. I could have pulled up a projection site. I probably should have. But otherwise I have this tool right here. It's team rankings. But we're going to be using this to show off like rushing yards and other stuff like that. So yeah, I think that pretty much just covers that. He's gotten it done twice already against them. He's looking like a pretty good hit rate. He got it done last week by a lot. So Cooper Kupp, you guys already likely know him. You know he grabs usually 100 yards a week at least. So all right, let's go and talk another Rams receiver real quick here, and that's Tyler Higbee. He's at 5 out of 5 in his straight 5 in his last 5 games. So he's averaging 52.4 in his last 5 games. He's 38 today against San Francisco. He had 55 in the last matchup at home. So 51, 46, 55, 69, and 41. So he's gotten it done by a pretty damn good amount, especially in these last 4 games. So I think Tyler Higbee should be able to grab at least 38 yards in today's game. So let's take a look here at Tyler Higbee versus San Francisco. Tyler Higbee. We just take a look what he did. It was away, so I'm not sure if that affected him at all. And he had 20 last time against San Fran. But this one was a lot more recent than that game, and they were playing on the road. So I think you should take that one with a little bit of grain of salt, but I still think it's a pretty good spot here for Tyler Higbee against San Francisco. So not a bad spot right there. Like I said, I'm going to keep these really short and brief because we do not have that much time until football starts. So, all right, let's take a look here at Jimmy Garoppolo interceptions. I love talking about interceptions and Jimmy Garoppolo here. So, even against Green Bay, where he barely threw the ball, he threw a pick. So, 3:30 is their game against LA here. Actually, that's 6:30. My time's on here is messed up for some reason. But 1.2 average in his last 5 games. He's had 1, 1, 2, 2, and 0. So, last time he threw 2 against LA on the road. So I think he's in a pretty good spot to go ahead and throw an interception here. So let's take a look at Jimmy G versus LA. So Jimmy, it honestly probably pull up if I put that as Jimmy G. Yeah. So right here, he threw an interception in the first time. He did not throw one last time at home though, which is honestly kind of surprising. I think a guy who's thrown it has thrown pick 4 straight games has yet to throw a touchdown in the playoffs. I think he's in a pretty good spot to go ahead and throw an interception. We can use this tool here though to go ahead and take a look at turnovers here and opponent interceptions thrown per game. We can go ahead and take a look at the LA Rams here, and they are allowing the second most amount of interceptions, or I'm sorry, the third most interceptions in the league. So people have thrown a lot of picks to the LA Rams team, and I think Jimmy G playing on the road threw 2 in their last matchup, throwing 4 straight. I think it's in a very, very good spot for him to go ahead and throw an interception in today's game versus the LA Rams. Okay, this one is going to be kind of like a 2-in-1 here. I'm not sure if I would play these separate. It's more to go ahead and get a 5x bonus. So if you go ahead and you go with Burrow, and you go ahead and go with Mahomes, this should hopefully work here. But let's say we want to go ahead and take 3 NBA too. So we would go under on 1 quarterback. We'd go over on 1 quarterback. It has to be the same game, and we got to want to go over on these couple guys. You guys can get a 15x bonus here on Prize Picks. So yeah, as long as you do a same game thing with quarterbacks and same game quarterbacks, you go over in one stat, under in one stat, you guys can get some extra stuff. If you go 4 people, you can get a 15x for hitting all 4. Flex it, you get 3 out of the 4, you get 1.5 times, and 4 correct, you get 8.5. So really not bad options right there. And if we go 3x, it's 5x, which is the same, but 3.75x for a flex play. So not a bad idea right there. Or you can go ahead and do a 2-pick power play, and it'll be a 4x. So I think this is a pretty good spot here for Burrow to go under on interceptions and Patrick Mahomes to go over on his rushing yards. So they've already played once this year, so we'll see how they did in those matchups. But we're on the interceptions tab already, and Kansas City is right here at 0.8. I do not believe he threw one last matchup, so we'll go ahead and go back to NFL here. Let's go to interceptions. We'll take a look at that game log. And against Kansas City, he did not throw an interception. He only threw one last week. So I think he's in a pretty good spot, though. Wait, was that last week? Yeah, okay, that was. Yeah, okay. I don't know what I was thinking. But, yeah, so he's 1-2. or 1 out of 2 in his 2 playoff games. But I think he's a good spot to not throw an interception. He didn't throw one last time against Kansas City, albeit he is on the road this time. Last time they were playing at home. So I guess that might be a little bit of a sketchier one. But he did end up throwing one last week, but I think he can hopefully get this one done this week. But and Kansas City's about right in the middle for that, 0.8. So, all right, let's go and take a look now at Mahomes over rushing yards, because if we want the 15x, this really isn't a horrible one. I kind of like this a little bit. I think this is the easiest way to go for an over and then an under on a quarterback. I really like quarterback rushing yards, especially in the playoffs, because they like to run a little bit more, usually because there's a lot more on the line. This is what people say. So, but he's gotten it done his last 3 games here, especially the 2 playoff games. He's at 69 and 29. So, even when a game where he didn't drop back that much in the Pittsburgh game, but 69, 29, 54, and 25. So last time he was not able to get it done, just barely. Now there's a lot more on the line. He's at home. So I do think this is probably one of my more favorite ones today for Patrick Mahomes. So if you want to go with Burrow under interceptions, you can find another stat for like Burrow under. Like maybe you want to do passing yards since he's on the road this time, even though he killed him last time when he was at home. But I don't know. I think it's a very, very good spot for Patrick Mahomes. I don't think there's really a way to go ahead and pull up anything like on this website for quarterback rushing yards. We actually take a look at on here, QB rushing yards versus Cincinnati game log. We can take a look at the quarterback rushing yards. So Baker Mayfield had 15. Last time Mahomes had 25. Tyler Huntley had 10. Was it Drew Lock? Teddy Bridgewater had 8. So they actually haven't been allowing that much. Lamar destroyed them right there. But they also haven't really played too many rushing quarterbacks. I mean, I guess Justin Herbert, they kind of did lock him down a little bit, but I don't know. Right here, Justin Fields at 56. Oh, that was last season. But that one was this season. I don't know. Yeah, they've been allowing a decent amount sometimes. Trevor Lawrence at 36. It just depends. I don't know. It's kind of hard to take a look at quarterback rushing yards sometimes. But I like it in a good spot in the playoffs here. But let me know what you guys think down in the comments for sure. Let me know what you guys are rocking with today. Give some different opinions down in the comments. But it's going to do, man. I appreciate you watching. Again, if anyone is new, make sure you guys like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn post notifications. Use code DOMG on prizepicks, available in most states. So I definitely recommend joining 100% deposit match up to $100. That's going to do it, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.